All right, let's talk about it. Monday Night Raw instant reaction time. I also want to get into Survivor Series and the implications that came out of Survivor Series that led to what happened tonight on Monday Night Raw and what's going to lead over the next few weeks in WWE programming, leading probably to the Royal Rumble as we enter WrestleMania season in January. Um, Cliff notes: CM Punk and the OG Bloodline, they win War Games. They beat Bronson Reed and the new Bloodline, Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu and the Tongans. CM Punk teaming with the OG Bloodline, Roman Reigns, Jey Uso, Jimmy Uso, and Sami Zayn, the honorary Us. In what I believe, now I'm in the process of arguing with a bunch of nerds on social media and on YouTube about this being the greatest War Games match of all time. In my opinion, in old Jack's opinion, that was the greatest men's war game match of all time. Not just from a storytelling perspective, because obviously you had the big names, you had the big stories, you had long-term storytelling from multiple different perspectives with multiple different characters, and it had so much expectations and build-up going into this that you thought so many different things were going to happen. In the ring, it lived up to the hype. I thought it was the greatest War Games match of all time. A lot of people argue that it was Kevin Owens and Adam Cole's War Games match from 2019 in NXT when Kevin Owens was a surprise entry. From a physicality standpoint, you can argue a lot of great technical wrestlers, a lot of technicians in that ring that night. What do you guys think? Was it the War Games match this past Saturday with CM Punk and the Bloodline, or do you think it was the Kevin Owens, Adam Cole, Undisputed Era War Games match in 2019? Go for it. Decide. Judge your asses off. I don't care. I thought it was this Saturday's. And it had so many implications. I think the moment CM Punk shook hands with Roman Reigns, it was like one devil shaking hands with another devil. The two most hated and polarizing men in the history of WWE, at least in that locker room right now. Because if you look at history, Roman Reigns has spent the last 4.5 years almost terrorizing the WWE locker room. He has no friends at all whatsoever. Even his partners, CM Punk hates Roman Reigns. Jey Uso's got a lot of animosity towards his cousin. Jimmy Uso is probably the only one that's on Roman Reigns' side, even though Roman Reigns really terrorized him too. Sami Zayn has no loss with Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns has a lot of enemies. And now that he's on his way back down the mountain, he's starting to realize he's got to make some friends. CM Punk, on the other hand, left WWE without any explanation 10 years ago, broke every fan's heart. But from a locker room perspective, he talks shit on just about everybody. He really, really tried to tear the flagship show that is WWE programming down for about a decade. And then he comes back like nothing ever happened. And he's a fan favorite. Everybody loves him because obviously we all wanted him back. Phil Brooks is public enemy number one, maybe public enemy number two behind Roman Reigns in that WWE locker room. But those are the two most hated men, and they shook hands. A devil shaking hand with another devil. You knew that there was going to be a lot to come out of it. I think a lot of us suspected that Seth Rollins was going to attack either CM Punk or Roman Reigns in War Games. It didn't happen. It was just a clean match with a clean finish, and the good guys went over. I loved it. But there were no surprises. Tonight on Monday Night Raw, we saw exactly what I thought I would see. CM Punk kicks off Monday Night Raw, saying that he wants, basically without even saying it, his next goal is to main event WrestleMania. That's why he came back to the WWE. It's his last professional wrestling thing on his wish list, right? He says he might enter the Royal Rumble. He says he might enter Elimination Chamber to get there. He mentioned that he has one or two favors, wink, wink, Paul Heyman, that he can use at his disposal heading into WrestleMania season. Maybe he uses that late. I don't know what that means. I think CM Punk's favor that he's going to get from Paul Heyman is going to be put on the back burner, almost like The Rock's gift to Cody Rhodes the night after WrestleMania when he shook his hand and gifted him something in his hand. We still don't know what that is for sure. We're probably going to find that out once Rock comes back. We're probably going to find out what the favor that Paul Heyman owes CM Punk in the next few months, if not maybe a year from now, right? Long-term storytelling. Paul Levesque loves to cook. But tonight's Raw started with CM Punk telling you what he wanted, and then Seth frickin' Rollins came out. Now here's the match we all assume is happening at WrestleMania 41, right? CM Punk versus Seth frickin' Rollins. These two hate each other. Seth Rollins, I think, hates CM Punk more than CM Punk hates Seth Rollins. But Seth Rollins and CM Punk, for the first time since CM Punk returned to WWE, got physical tonight. They actually traded blows after trading barbs for about 5 minutes. Seth Rollins making the first move, pushing CM Punk down. They went after it. Sami Zayn and Jey Uso from the Bloodline come in. They intervene. Jey Uso separates CM Punk. Sami Zayn separates Seth Rollins. This is where it gets interesting, right? Because, like I said, CM Punk and Roman Reigns, they don't have much friends in the WWE. I wouldn't even say Jey Uso and Sami Zayn are friends with CM Punk. Because even during the press conference, I would say Jey Uso's his friend. I wouldn't say Sami Zayn is his friend. I think CM Punk and Sami Zayn had beef. It was probably squashed and settled when CM Punk came back, but there's still probably a little bit of animosity there. But you could tell Seth Rollins, when he got on the mic and said, yeah, you go too, Jay, go back to Roman. Like, we're now in WrestleMania season. It's November. We still got 6 months to go. It's December now. It's December 2nd. We got 5 months to go before WrestleMania in Las Vegas, about a month and a half, 7 weeks per se, until the Royal Rumble in Indianapolis. Things are going to be cooking up here soon. Seth Rollins doesn't want anything to do with Roman Reigns. He doesn't want anything to do with CM Punk. That entire crowd teaming with CM Punk and Roman Reigns created a lot of enemies. Seth Rollins, his issues are with CM Punk, but I think his issues are going to be with Jey Uso and the rest of the bloodline here moving forward, especially if what I think is going to happen might happen. So let's talk about it. Later on the night, Jey Uso gets attacked from behind. We don't know who the attacker is. Part of me thought that this was going to be one of those things where we weren't going to find out who the attacker was for weeks on end, and then it was going to be a big reveal, a big surprise, either Seth Rollins, maybe CM Punk, maybe even Sami Zayn to set up Sami Zayn and Jey Uso, because you know that there's money to be made there. But we found out by the end of the night who the attacker was, or who the assumed attacker was in my mind. Drew McIntyre's back. So Drew McIntyre attacks Sami Zayn after Seth Rollins beat Sami Zayn in the main event of Monday Night Raw. Babyface versus babyface, which I always like to see. It's really refreshing seeing two babyfaces go at it. And the interesting thing with Seth frickin' Rollins, the same kind of thing with Kevin Owens, is that when Kevin Owens attacked Cody Rhodes, it was kind of justifiable. He teamed with the guy that tried to end his career and terrorized him for almost 4 years, right? So it's justifiable. You didn't have to turn him heel for him to go after a babyface. But then he attacked Randy Orton with it's not the Canadian Destroyer, it's the Pile Driver. Pile Driver to Randy Orton, took him out. He's officially a heel. Kevin Owens, that is. Seth Rollins can go after these baby faces. He could go after Jey Uso. He can go after Sami Zayn. He can go after CM Punk, because you can justify him hating all of them for teaming with the guy that terrorized WWE and a guy that literally verbally attacked WWE for a decade. And that's why he hates CM Punk. Seth Rollins has justification to go after all of these baby faces for teaming with the two most vilified men in that locker room, right? Even though they're baby faces. And I think that's what we're going to see moving forward. I don't think Seth Rollins is going to turn heel. I think we have 5 months to figure out whether or not WWE wants to turn CM Punk heel in the Punk versus Rollins feud. I think they could go either way. I think they could do babyface Punk versus babyface Rollins. They could do babyface Punk versus heel Rollins. They could do heel Punk versus babyface Rollins. I'm good with any option, really. I don't necessarily think that they have to turn him heel. Time will tell. Drew McIntyre returning tonight signifies to me that everybody is the enemy that teamed with CM Punk and Roman Reigns, just like Seth Rollins. And that's what makes this whole 4.5-year Roman Reigns story so compelling, is that he terrorized the company for so long. He made enemies of everybody in that locker room on Raw and SmackDown. And now it's all coming back to bite people in the ass. The people that are teaming with Roman Reigns. Cody Rhodes teamed with Roman Reigns at Bad Blood. Immediately, Kevin Owens attacks him. Randy Orton even questioned it. You know, Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes is probably on the agenda for 2025 as well. We just don't know when we're going to see it. So you know that's probably going to come in. It's justifiable. Seth Rollins hating CM Punk and Roman Reigns, justifiable. Justifiable for him to go after all the baby faces. Jey Uso, Sami Zayn, Jimmy Uso, all the men that teamed with them. Even Cody Rhodes, right? And then you have Drew McIntyre, who also has every right to go after every member of the bloodline for screwing him over the past few years. Remember 2022, 2023, Drew McIntyre went after Roman Reigns, got screwed by Solo Sikoa, got screwed by the Usos. He has every right. He hated Jey Uso when he got drafted to Monday Night Raw last year after Cody Rhodes made the trade for him. But he's a heel. He's a legitimate heel. He went after CM Punk. He had the feud of the year with CM Punk. We haven't seen him in a month and a half, almost 2 months, really, since Bad Blood, almost 2 months to the day in Atlanta on October 3rd. And then December 2nd tonight, he returns to Monday Night Raw. Drew McIntyre is on the exact same vendetta and the exact same game plan as Seth Rollins, but one's a heel, like a known heel, and one's a known babyface. And then you got Kevin Owens, who just kind of turned heel, but also you can justify everything that he's saying. Is he really a heel? Because what he's saying makes sense for him wanting to attack Cody Rhodes. Maybe not so much Randy Orton, but Cody Rhodes. It's going to be very, very, very fun to watch come WrestleMania season, because all of these guys, whether they're heels or faces, they all have the same two enemies: CM Punk and Roman Reigns.